we are. It's day 19. 19 of 22 days of push ups, but really more importantly, 19 of 22 days of bringing the topic of veteran suicide to the forefront of your mind. 22. 22 lives are lost every day. 22 lives are taken every day. These lives are the lives of our veterans, of our fathers, mothers, sisters, brothers, aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, mothers, daughters, sisters, our children, whatever the relationship is. These are real people. These are people who stood up and said, hey, I'm going to go to bat for you. I'm going to go where our nation needs me to defend our liberties. Men and women who put their life on the line, who signed on that dotted line and said, hey, I'm going to do everything, up to and including sacrificing my own life for this nation. And then came home and took their lives because the personal price you pay in making that commitment is so overwhelming and so life altering and can affect so many other elements of your life and existence that they become hopeless, helpless, and they give up. Now, death is a tough topic in and of itself. It's one we tend to dodge. It's one we don't like to talk about. It becomes a little more palatable, a little more easier to talk about when it's life taken by an outside factor. Illness, cancer, car accident, age, even murder or combat deaths are easier to talk about. But there's something inherently scary and taboo about somebody taking their own life that makes it something we don't want to talk about. It makes us feel shameful to acknowledge it. It makes us feel scared to acknowledge it. And I don't know if it's we've had it beat into our heads, whether it be through religious beliefs or personal beliefs or experience, that killing yourself is this awful sin, that those people should be ashamed of it, and therefore you should be ashamed of thinking about it. Therefore you should be ashamed to talk about it. There's no shame in hitting the lowest spots in your life and not knowing what to do. There's no shame in being so caught up in the downward spiral that the only thing you can think of is to end it quickly and quietly. There's no shame in that. I would never say it's the right decision. It isn't. It never is. But don't be ashamed of having those thoughts. Share that you are having those thoughts. Don't be ashamed that you know somebody who has done that. Share their story so others can learn, so we can figure out the warning signs, so we can figure out how do we stop this epidemic of death. I think there's a bit of fear that comes along with it too. You know, it's not related to veterans or veteran suicide, but it is something that I think pertains to the point I'm trying to make here. Many years ago, I was wrestling in Waterloo at our Hall of Fame event. I was in a tag team with a good buddy of mine. His name was Ugly Bill Pikva. You know I always pronounce it wrong, buddy. So, point being, it was intermission, And something we were always proud of is we were very interactive with our fans and with the audience. And at intermission, a couple of parents came up to us and asked us, "Hey, will you talk to our son? He's ill, and everybody's kind of avoiding him. Can you please we would really appreciate it if you just come over and say hi." This kid was really, really, really ill. His skin was yellow. He was in a wheelchair. There was no denying that he was very, very sick. And the phenomenon of everybody just kind of moving around him, giving him space, is something that will always stick in my head. And there's more to this story. I'll share it another time as to kind of how it really hit my heart, but I want to stick to the topic at hand. The point being, this kid presented such a sick aura about him that people avoided him, subconsciously, giving him a little extra room. And I think that's how we treat the topic of suicide. I think we're afraid that somehow if we talk about it, if we acknowledge its existence, we're going to catch it. Either ourselves or somebody we know will kill themselves if we dare speak its name. And I think the problem is people don't realize that that's exactly why we have this problem. Because we won't talk about it, because we choose to ignore it, because we try to dodge around it rather than approach it. And that's what I'm trying to cure with these videos. It's simple. I don't want you to escape it anymore. I don't want you to dodge it anymore. I don't want you to hide it anymore. Let's fucking talk about it. It's real. Real people are killing themselves, and we can stop it. Can't avoid it. It's not an illness to be caught. It's not the coronavirus. We don't want to wear masks and socially distance ourselves from the topic of suicide. We need to address it now more than ever. Because right now in this country, we are as distant from each other as we have ever been. We are as alone and lonely as we have ever been. And we have all the technology in the world to be as interconnected as we've ever been. And yet still, we feel distant and detached from one another. And nowhere is this more prevalent than in our veteran community. The people who are already struggling, the people who are already burying their feelings, the people who are already hiding how they feel. We need to reach out. We need to stop ducking the conversation. We need to stop dodging the taboo that is suicide. Let's talk about it. And all of its precursors. Depression, anxiety, hopelessness, self-harm, any of these things, and more. The list is endless of things to watch out for that can tell you, hey, this person is really struggling. Hey, I need to get to the bottom of this. We can do that together, but we have to be brave. And these men and women have been brave. They went somewhere you wouldn't ever go and did things you'll never want to think about. And they live with that day in and day out. Every night when they go to sleep, they see that. The most horrific scenes you could possibly think of in their head every day. Inescapable. Unavoidable. Burnt in there until the day they die. And the problem is they know that. So their idea is, I need to escape that. And if it doesn't go away until the day I die, let's just fast forward to it. No. Don't do it. Get help. Ask for help. Give help. Call me. Call your friends. Call your family. Call your preacher. Call your rabbi. I don't care. Call your DoorDash person and have them stop by for a few minutes. Just talk to somebody. And if you think for even a second that somebody you know is struggling, please reach out. I don't care if it's inconvenience. I don't care if it's, this is not the right time for me. When is the right time? When you're carrying them in a box? When you're speaking over their grave? When you're hugging their mother, telling her how sorry you are? Is that the right time? We can't dodge it. We can't hide from it. Stand up. Step up. It's what we're doing. 22 every day. It's 22 too many. It's 22 mothers crying over their children. 22 wives weeping over their husbands. 22 children missing their mother. When does it get real? When it's somebody you know? When it's somebody you care about? Needs to be real now. And for some of us, it has been. Has been for me. I lost a friend because I didn't pick up that phone. I don't care what anybody says. That's in my head every day, and it always will be, and it should be, because that's what's going to motivate me to make a change. Pick up that fucking phone. Make that call. Check in on them. And no, I'm not sorry about my language, because this is serious. It's what motivated me to make a change. Take something that was, I think, overlooked, I think is a better term. The 22 push-up challenge. And it's not to shame anybody who's done it before. 22 push-ups a day, something at least. It brings awareness. But we can do better than that. Let's talk about it. So that's what we're doing. Let's do something to make a difference. That's what we're doing. What are we doing? Right here. $100 right now is the bid on this thing. $100. Painted this myself. Artwork's not great, but man, every time I touch this, it takes me back. Puckered that tight. Dark. I'm in a foreign country. People don't like me there. Sitting behind a machine gun on top of a truck, responsible for the lives of everybody in it. It was scary. I'll admit it. It was my first time. What am I doing with this? We're selling it. Auctioning. Right now, $100. I will part with this for that easily. Shipping's on me. All the money for this is going to Mission 22. So that they can help save a life. So they can be there for somebody when we can't be there. Because we are human. We can do better, but we're not perfect. They have the resources. They have the staffing. They have the programs to really make a difference. So if you're struggling, reach out to them. If you're not struggling and you've got a little extra coin in your pocket, let's give them some money. So right now we're sitting pretty close to $3,000. Holy shit. I'll be honest, I thought I was going to get $50 for this. We're at $100. And that's all I thought I was going to get. Day one of this, I never even thought about a fundraiser. I didn't think it would work. And you people have blown my mind. almost $3,000 going to help prevent veteran suicide. But it's day 19. So we got a couple more days, a few more days. It's not too late to add to that. It's not too late to make a difference. Mission 22. It's a great organization, man. Helping rehabilitate, helping to revive, helping to keep veterans going. Helping our heroes. That's our job. Can't rely on somebody else to do it. And they're obviously contradictory to what I'm saying, but they're not the government. They're not the VA. They're not the military. These are private citizens just giving their time and effort to make a difference. Let's do the same. Because it's our turn. Because these are our friends. These are our family members. These are your brothers and sisters, your children, your friends. These are the people you know. This is not nameless people somewhere else. I guarantee you, somebody you know is struggling. Let's do something. Let's do better. $100. Shipping's on me. I keep resharing the fundraiser. If you see it, if you can't give, share it. Share these videos. Even if you can't give somebody else the opportunity to give. Throw these out there. Maybe it'll help somebody else. It's not me hoping you get my voice out there so more people think I'm cool. It's so that we can get this message out there. So we can have everybody talking about it. Share with everyone. Let's make a difference. Let's make these last few days really count. Getting a little parched. So, do something a little different with our push-ups today. We're going to do them on a stability ball. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my hands on here. Now, inherently, on the surface, it's going to make it a little bit easier because I'm raising the front part of my body up. Therefore, less pressure on my body as I'm doing the push-up. Conversely, it's going to make it more challenging because now I'm adding the element of instability. I'm not flat on the ground. I'm not on a stable surface. I'm not on an even surface. My hands are going to be on the ball, wanting to move about. It's a little dusty. Watch me slip off this thing and drop my grill into the concrete here. We're going to give them a try. What this is also good for is it may do a little less for the upper body as far as the push-up is concerned, but it's going to do more for the core because you're going to have to engage to stabilize. Now, if you've never done them this way before, again, start on your knees, or you can do a little wider stance. Traditionally, push-ups, my feet are side by side. You can go a little wider. That way you're not tipping side to side, but that is kind of the point. So, to challenge yourself more, bring those feet closer together. The narrower your stance, the less stable you're going to be, the more your core has to engage to keep you stable and allow you to do this movement. Now let's hope that my large physique, in other words, my fatty fat body, doesn't pop this thing. Hey, it held. Get my hands placed. Sometimes I like to start from the bottom. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoop. See? A little more challenging. Not so much the push-up itself, though. That is challenging. Because again, you're not on a stable surface. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Whoop! I'm gonna bust my teeth. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I'm all over the place. 20, 21. Not quitting. We're not cutting one out. 22. Because sometimes we're not stable. 22 times today. Somebody wasn't stable. 22 times today, we missed the opportunity to save a life. Let's do better.